What's up, guys? This is Sean Tan, and this is a sharing that I've done with a group of students. And I think some might be helpful for youngsters who are still studying, right? If they are in 22, 25, they were wondering whether YouTube as a career can do or not, and things like that. So I thought since I've done a recording, I might as well share with you guys, right? Enjoy!
Let me introduce to you our guest today, Sean Tan. Hello, bro.
Hey guys, hey JL, thanks for having me.
Sure. Hey, bro, thanks for being here because I believe you also have a very tight schedule. As I know, you were just you just came out from another meeting about what about 150 something. You just tell me.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I really appreciate that. So why don't I'm not gonna take much of your time. I will just go ahead to let you introduce yourself because our student here they might not know so many players in the market. Someone like you. So go ahead, introduce yourself.
Hey guys, whoever is watching, hey, my name is Sean, and I currently run a YouTube channel called Iheng, Iherng, right? So do some branding first, okay? Then I also am working full time for the Makeover guys as the marketing manager and branding manager. So you guys can go check out their content. It's all done up by my team. I started off as an architecture student. And I think let's go back way back, which is like the graduation days where I'm in your shoes, lah. Right. So now I'm about to graduate. What should I do and things like that. As you guys know, architecture back then is a very, very costly subject to be in. And the paper, the
Exactly.
printing, every final year project, right? Every final SEM project, printing cost alone is 600 to 1,000. Printing cost alone. Then you need to
Crazy.
do the yeah. Then the model that we do that you guys like, right? We all need to handcraft. Then basically at that time, father's business also got affected by the crisis. Then it was in a very lean mode. So I need to earn extra money to afford computers, tools, even the charcoal pen, all the stationeries is expensive for architecture. After I
Mm-hmm.
graduate, then I was going to go for my master's in architecture, but then I didn't have enough money. So my goal was to set up 100,000 with the intention of going there and work, then study. Excuse me. So at the same time, but then I realized working part time is not the way to go.
Mm.
You are
True.
exchanging time for money, so it's a very low value exchange. So I did
And a lot of people does that.
correct. So I've then went into stocks, I went into bonds, I went into gold, I went into some illegal things that I cannot say. Then just with the intention to raise that 100,000. So that's where I crossed path with this aunt of mine. She collects rental for other people. So she also collects rental for herself, lah. So she managed a portfolio of property. And that's only when I realized people pay money for space. A lot of people don't really understand and grasp that, right, until they really move out of their parents' house. So for those who are actually staying yourself, right, you will know that every month, whether you like it or not, by the 7th or by the 28th, you need to pay rental.
Exactly.
Then that's the main cost for living, especially in the city area, lah. So I realized that very early, and that's when the the property thing struck me. Then after that, I went into becoming an agent, which is like 12 years ago, 11 years ago. uh,
Mm-hmm.
then I went on to close a lot of deals, and then I furthered my studies on Masters of Real Estate,
Oh,
and
okay.
then I attached myself in a property developer for 6 years across 9 departments. So from
Wow.
branding, marketing, design. So at the site, pour concrete with the bangla. All I did that. Yeah. So I even got a warning letter
Successful
from
people always do everything one.
yeah. So that's where I went through the right training ground. And after I came back from JB, I was in JB. I was part of the team near to Legoland side. And there's some story I shared with JL also I cannot share here. uh, I will. And then I came back to KL and I went back into real estate again, doing Facebook marketing. So I've generated leads for Facebook projects, property
Mhm.
projects. Sorry. Then my team closed like 180 units in like 18 months, 16 months. And then
Wow.
only, so then it came across a time when I was always talking about properties only. So they call me, hey, the real estate guy is here, the real estate guy is here. So that's why the Facebook page kind of named the real estate guy. But then I think a bit leong, so I didn't use it for my YouTube channel. So I was very happy because in my free time, I will also visit properties for no reason. I'll just visit galleries, visit units, go and make appointment. So just to put myself in that environment. And one of my friends asked a very simple question that I was struck. Like very basic real estate questions that they don't understand. And he's in his 30s that time. So
Wow.
at that same time, I was giving consultancy to my investors, my clients, on his 16th property. This investor is going for his 17th property already, right? And then he's asking my advice, like I can give lah. But then my neighbors, consisting 5 to 6 different members who is all working, can't even make the rent in the end of the month. So the gap, right? And then I have this friend who don't know anything about properties going to the gallery, right? Blur as, wow, really lah, blur, very, very blur. That gave me the insight is, why do I need to repeat everything again and again and again? Might as well I do something. I just send a video over. So that's when the whole video started. So I started with an iPhone 6S.
Wow.
Yeah. So that time I was a bit more fluffy. Then then the front camera was don't have wide lens and anything. So if you guys go to the channel and look at episode 1 property review, right? My God. Yeah. So I lost I think I lost a lot. And that is how I started the channel.
Wow. Okay. I think from like just like our title, you from a person who is supposed to, like you say, pour concrete and things like that. Okay. But now being on the social media, how do you actually find the transaction? For you to transact, or maybe I should call it transform yourself from something that is so, I'll say, hands-on, because you need to touch everything yourself, till like YouTube, social media, and things like that. So how do you find the journey?
Number one is to be very comfortable with being uncomfortable. Again, I'm being very comfortable being uncomfortable, which means like if you don't change, time change. Then after I came back, in the developer line itself, I left as a person who was managing social media. So before Facebook acquired Instagram, my team back then was already selling properties via Instagram already.
And it works.
Yeah. So that it went. So I was very familiar with social media to begin with. Just that I had an agency to do all the creative. I don't have to do the own picture, video, and things like that. Then because I'm an architecture student, we need to do renderings ourselves, pictures ourselves, and whatever you see on the brochure, right? Basically, I can do all that. So that gave me. So I was very comfortable with creative in the first place, really. Then only it moves on to being presenting in front of a camera. How do you put things into a normal person's language? I think the main problem with professional people, right? Like the doctors, lawyers, they have the need to impress other professionals. So if I were to publish a content, right, the content needs to make the other competitors, he 無聊嘅he 好有料嘅so that means nothing to normal audience. Normal audience will not find anything useful out of that exercise. So I try to prevent that. So that's something where when I communicate to my friend, and my friend then also introduced his cousins and all. So my target audience has always been this 21-year-old kid. And that sets the whole tone for the channel for me to communicate. Right? So I think besides saying that, so you gotta be very humble in terms of looking back. So that's why instead of putting myself in Facebook very aggressively, I put in YouTube first. So I don't want my family and friends to all give me the fake environment. Wow,
Mm.
Sean, you're very king. Sean, you very king. I support, right? Then you really think you king. Wow, then got problem already. But then if it's on the YouTube, right, it's based on organic search. So if you put it there,
Yes.
so if you are good, then the results will show. If you suck, then you just face it and change, right? So
Yep.
so that is kind of my discipline. And instead of focusing on producing that one perfect content all the time, I measure myself based on numbers of content that I put up. So I started off with once a week, whether or not I can finish or not the video. So I was editing videos on Photoshop, not
Wow.
Premiere Pro,
Photoshop.
yeah, not Final Cut, Photoshop. So this is another thing that I want to touch on is the transition, right? Sometimes a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people think too much and they wait for things to happen, which means I need that camera, ma. I need that topic, ma. I need that opportunity, ma. I need to go for this online marketing course first, ma. Then all this, right? I
Mm-hmm.
just excuse away from execution. I learned everything, almost everything from YouTube,
Okay.
from editing, from storytelling, from pacing, from how to do cover, how to do thumbnail, how to write, right? Everything is on YouTube. So a lot of people misunderstand learning and execution. They are different things. Knowing about something, right, is not going to make anything happen. Right?
Correct. I
Yep.
agree with that. You need to do one. You need
Yep.
to
Yep.
do
Yep.
one end of the day. Now, you see, the course that you study, architecture, okay, architecture. A lot of people know, especially traditional people or maybe our mother, our father generation, it's a high paid job. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's a damn high paid job. And you see, from a job that you can actually get a lot of salary, but instead you are choosing the path where you need to go to this YouTube thing. And can YouTube really generate those income that you need for your life, your lifestyle, maybe your expenses or all the other commitment?
First of all, architecture, right? Only you'll get the big bucks. I call it the big bucks lah. So how architects make money is when a building is designed and finalized and they want to construct, right? So you will take a 3% out of the GDC, which is the gross development cost, the construction cost that you need to build the entire thing, right? So from there you take a 3%. So if a normal project is around 300 to 500 million, your cost is 15 million. But
Right.
you take in the span of 5 to 6 years, then provided your client pay you lah, okay, then that is the boss, right? Not the lead designer, not the draftsman and things like that. And again, back to professional, right? It's their ego that makes things very difficult for youngsters one. Like the first job as an architect trainee that time, right? I was folding papers only. You don't get to draw and you fold papers only for submission. So all the hard work, and it's like that part of that training, like for newbies, right? They come to the basketball court, or make them wipe the floor first, wipe the ball first, don't let them play one. Something like that. So from that, right, then I've understood that architect is not the main person that design. It's the person that pays the money, which is a developer. Developer say I want. So this is only in Malaysia's culture lah, China culture lah, a bit lah. So they push. Okay, I want this design you build for me lo. I don't want. It's my say. Architect got no say one. So I understood that. So I went to developer lo. So and I followed the trail. I understood how architect make money, how developer make money, how main contractor make money, how subcontractor make money, how material supplier make money. And I went through all that, right? Basically, it's very conventional. And those were the best solutions back then before we had all this technology. Then YouTube caught my eye and social media caught my eye. Suddenly, because one of the event that I was promoting back then when I was part of the development team is I was promoting this event. Then I put Iron Man inside because I like Avengers also. Ma. Then mana tahu, we received a letter from Disney, Hong Kong, trying to warn us and if you don't remove, we will sue you.
Oh,
Yeah, so we
I heard that
received
before.
I received a written notice from Disney warning you didn't get our approval and things like that. So I was thinking like, a Malaysia dude designed a small image in Johor can reach Hong Kong leh. So
Never imagined that, right?
yeah. So that's when the thing like, oh, this one I think can invest some time. Then I spent a lot of time. So a few heroes of mine is like Gary V on YouTube, on Casey Neistat, Peter McKinnon. So you see how they start their journey, right? Everybody is the same one. Everybody start with zero followers, zero subscribers. And my take is I have always been very comfortable with having two roles in the same time. So when I was doing full time in a developer office, I was selling MLMs, right? Then I was when I was doing agent, I was designing social media campaigns. Then now even running the YouTube, and I still have a full time job. So a lot of people ask that how do I cope with that, right? It's discipline. It depends what you want. Because if I were to monetize my channel early, it will restrict the growth of the channel, which means every time people want to know more about you, they want to subscribe, right? They need to pay money. Then they will rather go somewhere else.
Yep.
So the main reason I work is so I don't have to monetize my audience at best forever. So that's why so if it's very obvious in the property line as well. So a lot of people do the only reason they want to do video is they want to sell the property. So the whole intention of my channel is whether you buy or not, I don't care. I'm doing it for myself. So I'm the person who documented more than 100. To date, it's 106 different properties already. So well documented in video form and things like that. So yeah, so that was the journey. And whether can YouTube AdSense make money or not? Not really though. Not really. But it's the potential. So if you guys know how advertisement work, how media dollars work, a lot of people pay money for placement of their products and things like that. So that goes in correlation to your the attention that you get. So if you have people's trust, you have people's views, you have people's attention, the higher your media dollars can be. And once you compromise it, you say like, okay, this one I receive how much money? Then I will say good things about this brand. Then that trust actually depletes. It drops.
Right.
So this guy suddenly say iPhone good, then next week say Samsung good, another week say Huawei good. Walao. Right. So that's why I'm trying to sustain the channel. So I focus a lot about growth first. So I think in 10 years time, the only property guru or a property influencer or KOL, right, that you will remember is most probably me. Because 10 years down the road, you see a lot of property gurus come and go, right?
Yep.
3 years, 3 years. So they do very short campaigns because the entire reason is for business. That I understand. I'm not blaming them. Just that I have a very different intention. 10 years later, right, you can still go back to the first video that I do, right? Oh my God, it's going to be so epic.
So I mean, I look back to the first video that I did. I also like, oh my God, seriously. I think that's very normal.
So if you really want to go full-time YouTube, right, then the very hard fact is you need to know how to calculate, right? Or from a normal basic, I think there's a lot of channels and a lot of videos talking about how they make money as a YouTuber, really. So basically, you need to get approved by Google that your channel is legit. You have 4,000 hours of watch time, 1,000 subscribers, and they will evaluate you. So how many times you take people's content or you say wrong things and things like that, they flag you, right? So if everything is okay, then they will start calculating the views from there. Every 1,000 view generally is $1. Then a lot of people say, wow, then 1 million view is 1,000 eh? Correct. But how many 1 million view videos that you can do when you are new? I'm not saying like 10 years down the road, 10 years down the road, maybe Hachu also got 1 million view. But in the short moment of time, right, which is 1 to 5 or 8 years, right, that's the journey that you need to somewhat fill yourself with other things. If not, you're going to get all the, if you keep focusing on pay, sponsored videos, right? Then again, the more you spot, the more you receive from the brands, the more you will compromise your audience. Then in the end, right, why audience want to follow you?
For nothing. I'm
Yep.
watching advertisement all the time by watching you, so no point.
Yep. So that's something
But you,
to, yes.
but you see, one thing is that a lot of people nowadays, I mean, I'm talking about the 90s and the zero zeros, okay, the newer generation, Ling Ling Ho, they all say Ling Ling Ho, is that they somehow see this YouTube thing as a career one. You know? I mean, do you agree with that?
Yes and no.
Okay. What is the yes and the no?
Yes, if you know, have talent, and once you try the first video, the second video, and maybe the 20th video, you explode. Then go ahead. But then give yourself that time. Like now, right? So you gotta face reality. So many may think that their singing is good. That's the worst, when you sing like chicken like that, right? But then the whole fake environment, like your parents and friends tells you that you are singing is good and good and good and good, right? Then you prepare everything. You prepare the best mic, best camera, best lighting. You put everything in. Then you post, right, for a year, 10 years, nobody watch. Then you're in that denial mode, ma. But then I would suggest to have in the development call, we call it MVP, the minimum viable, to go into the market, which means you just put the camera on your phone, you do some mic, then you start singing, see what's the response. Test water first. Then to test whether people want to watch you. Then only you decide from there. I think it's also wrong to say like, oh, cannot one lah, YouTube cannot make money, but people make ma. So a lot of people don't take into account talent. When Will Smith get into YouTube, right, it took him like, I think 18 days only for 1 million subscribers. I think it's only because it's Will Smith.
Yeah.
He's an actor, right? But then for
Superstar.
a normal YouTuber, correct. So for YouTubers, normally it's ordinary people. So I see that as the best thing ever, because let's say if I were to start being a guru, like before YouTube times, right, I need to get approval. I need to come with this newspaper boss lah, this TV3 boss lah, and things like that. So he will put my face lah. Now no need. Nothing is stopping me from uploading my videos. And I will let the market decide. So the market will tell me, hey, this guy, a lot of people watch. So it's a very fine line between denial and whether you know you got it or not.
I think nowadays on social media, the only thing that can stop you is when the internet decided to play a fool with you.
Yes.
Then,
yes.
then we cannot do anything already. Like for example, sometimes our connection, not that we don't want to be good, it's just not stable. Okay,
Yep.
So I think that is one of the bigger problem in Malaysia for us to be online all the time. Now you see, bro, I want to chat with you. One thing is that we have a lot of social media platform nowadays. Okay, some people treat YouTube as a career. As you said, if they have a specific talent that they feel that can be exploded in within a shorter period of time, no problem. But the thing is, a lot of people have different opinion on which platform to start first. Some people, they only concentrate on Facebook. Some people, they are not known on Facebook, but when you go to their YouTube channel, plenty of people are watching. So how do you see that for those people who really want to be a KOL or something like that?
So two things. I think number one is you gotta understand what are these social medias all about. On normal TV terms, it's like one is Sport ESPN, one is National Geographic, one is Discovery Channel, and one is news, right? So the way you behave in different platforms also makes it very different in terms of your creation. So a person who goes to YouTube is well prepared for long form videos. So if the video is like 3 minutes and you put it on YouTube, right, it won't work one. Because I'm in YouTube for very long format videos, and most of the time my videos, right, a lot of people watch on TV. So that kind of sucks because my face get even bigger. Already so big already, my face lagi bigger. Then the same 13-minute video will not perform the same in Facebook. Because Facebook, right, how you receive videos is by algorithm. So happen that if I third scroll, only I will see your video. So the first 3 seconds you don't have my attention, then okay, I don't want to see it. And then if you go into LinkedIn, you are kind of like, you want to sound very professional, you must juggle image, and the thing you like, you cannot like very chin chai punya stuff and things like that. Then you go into Instagram. So you see the pictures first or you see the video first, only the fonts, only the text. On Facebook, you see the text first, only you see the video. All these kind of things, right? And now even TikTok, even worse, one more thing to figure out. In that 1 second, I don't know what you're doing, I'm scroll already, right? So it's the adaptability of your content versus the platforms. That's number one. Number two is how you can test on you. So the best way to test is if you create something already, you just post across. Then you see which one work. Then if you don't have a team of creatives, not like a person like a superstar, then they got like a team of 20 people doing content for him, then fine. Then focus on one. Like for myself, I'm focusing a lot on YouTube because I'm not that person that I need a lot of vanity scores. I don't want to reach people very fast in terms of Facebook and things like that. I just want to be there when you need me. So suddenly today I go YouTube and I search which property can buy or how to invest in property in Malaysia. Then I pop up. So when you have that need, I'm there, then that impact is stronger. So that relationship is stronger than just Facebook feed, right? I see, oh, this guy advertised, or this guy got money only. That's about it.
Oh,
Then
okay,
so one more thing is the difference between KOL and influencers. That's my very small definition. So influencer can be like very, I think it's a word where I think some KOLs like it, some KOLs don't like it. But how do I see it, right? I will define it as 实力派 and 偶像派. 偶像派 is people with looks, right? People with 身材, people with figures, and they just generally got their lifestyle to show around. Then people want to follow them for things that they cannot have. Fine. There's a demand for that. So it's like an escape, right? So for key opinion leaders is where you are a subject matter expert or you're a subject matter enthusiast, which means if I talk about bicycle, right, I know every bicycle in Malaysia, what's fixies, what's mountain bike, what's racing bike, what's trail bike, what's this, what's that. They're talking about gear, talk about very detailed stuff. Or I like Pokemon. I'll talk about blue version, yellow version, gold version, silver. Other people don't know, I think in the audience. They know about Pokemon Go only. Yeah, so you can get into a very niche subject matter, and that will be a different strategy as well. So a lot of people will get caught, and most of the people give up because they don't see the rise in numbers for that first 30 videos or 40 videos. No one watch one. So if you're doing it for views and you're doing it for likes, and I call them vanity scores, right? Then the whole intention is wrong already. For me, I think you should be doing to find like a passion. Even like when I got nothing to do, right? More Sunday morning, I wake up at 6 o'clock. I will straight away go to the laptop and edit first before even thinking about breakfast. That's how much I like doing what I do. So whether or not the community or the public accepts my videos, right, I'm happy to begin with. So whatever attention and whatever sponsorship or whatever kind words that I'm receiving on YouTube, right, those are just bonus.
Basically, is that you do it because you know there are people that need your help into that area. So whether the views is like 1,200 or maybe like 100, you will also do it, because those who watch it or those who come to you is those people that need helps from you.
Correct.
Great.
So
I think
just something to elaborate further is like 1,000 view videos, right? Like I have some very technical, because I have a session called Asking Sean where people write email to me about their problem and I zoom in very contextual to their situation. Because sometimes we give answers that are too general, right? It's not helping anybody. So when I zoom in, right, then if you have shared the same concerns, then it might be helpful. So, but in that 1,000 view videos, I know it takes the same effort for me to produce a 40,000 view videos. It's the same effort. But why I choose to do, right? Because this 1,000 video, 40%, maybe 30 to 40% people will write an email back thanking me that, hey, I now know what to do and things like that. Instead of people watch, 100,000 people watch and they just merely watch. So it's like, oh, ha ha ha. So there's no impact. So it's I won't say it's either or, it's a strategy. So for those who sing song, right, they sing, oh, this one lang zai ah. Another one sing until like, wow, the fellow crying there, ayo, so kamtong, oh my god. Yeah, lo. So it's a very different strategy.
great. I think that's very useful, because a lot of people nowadays on Facebook, especially those youngest ones. I mean, those people who are watching, you need to listen to this. Whenever you have a content on Facebook, when we talk about content on your social media, it's like you post a video of yourself, you put a selfie of yourself, or maybe you write a story of yourself. It's also a content. Don't, like Sean say over here, don't care so much on the likes, don't care so much on the view. Focus on the people that you want them to get to know you better. Enough already. Like Gary Vee, I also got admired by I got admired by Gary Vee a lot. In fact, I do my social media channel is because my Sifu basically model after him, and I also model after my Sifu. So indirectly also model after modeling after Gary Vee lah. Is that Gary Vee started for 10 over years already. He didn't get popular until the 11 years, right? If I'm not mistaken, 11 or 10 year, the 10th year. Only it got famous. So it's like people like us, we're only doing it, like some of us doing it for a few months, some of it only doing it for like few years. Then you expect you to have the audience that they have. So I think it doesn't make sense at all. So focus on the people that we want to talk to. It's good enough already for me. Right now, friends and family and students, whoever are still here with us, remember, okay, we have Sean over here today. You can also call him Ehern. Okay, he is a good friend of mine, and he is a very professional person when you come to property and also YouTube. Now, I want to proceed now. Okay, just now we were all talking about YouTube and social media and things like that, but we forgot one thing that Sean actually expert the most is actually in the property line of thing. So now, Sean, I would like to just ask you something that, because I know you are not at that old. You are like, I think you're only like few years elders than me, but you already have plenty property that you have bought or sold.
Plenty lah.
I mean, bought or sold lah. I mean, here and there a little bit of plus point lah. Okay. Can you just like share with us how do you start and when did you start, and until today what is the outcome and things like that?
I started getting interested in properties when my aunt driving me around, not carry lah. That time very heavy. She drive me around, collecting rent. Then only I asked a stupid question like, why people are paying you? You do nothing also, or using my space? So space is also a commodity that we need to pay money for. For example, car park. For example, room rental and things like that. So a car park here and a car park in the forest is very different. So the demand for space is, so that I understood that very early. Then my first property I got when I was 23, 24. And that time really blind, just follow and see what I know and just see So I try my luck Then I got into this book where Ho Chin Soon, the map king of Malaysia, he wrote a book where the track line of MRT. So I just follow that track and find a property that I can afford that time. So after I bought that when I was 23, then 7-8 years later, basically I didn't do a lot also. I was lucky that the tenants were good lah. So it's a few youngsters. Then basically I see it as working once a year kind of thing. Every year I just work for the property once, which is like a week. So I go in, maintain aircon, fix lighting, toilet here, jam, change a bit. Then I change tenant already every year. But then 7-8 years later, with that 8 weeks of effort cumulatively, the value increased. And this was, I think, right after the crisis. So I've benefited, right? So the amount of capital appreciation for the apartment itself, I got, it's higher than the amount of savings I have in my bank account. So that is where I realized that, so I call it the Milo ice theory. The Milo ice theory is when a Milo ice back then when I was back in high school, 160 already very expensive already. 160 Milo ice, some more chia one, but no taste one. Then make noise. Then now you go Papa Rich and drink Milo ice and see 480. But then the price is also 680 already, but it's the same amount of water and Milo only ingredient. So what's different? The difference is the value of money. By putting money, the same amount of 3,000 ringgit, right? I put into the bank today versus the 3,000 ringgit that I have later for 10 years later, right? It's the value is different already. The things that you can buy in exchange for 3,000 ringgit is already different. So property has always been that tool to preserve the value of money. So a vivid image is 1 million, I buy one house and I put there. 1 million I put into the bank account, I put there. Provided this, let's assume that this property is in a very good location, okay? So let's say 10 years later, the property is increased value to maybe conservatively 150,000, 1.5 million. So the bank account after interest all is maybe 1.2 million, right? The value actually dropped, right? But then the property maybe is 1.5 million, but when people offer, right, they will offer higher because the surrounding price and demand for that house is already different. So that's something where I call the Milo ice theory. How do you preserve the value of money? So after that, I got very aggressive actually. I bought one property a year and I'll find all ways to maximize and leverage and things like that. So another concept is leveraging that I understood. A lot of people say and wake up me online, hey, Sean, you don't know what you're saying. I put in EP 7% interest, property increase how much a year, things like that, right? Using 100 to make 6 ringgit, right? Nothing great, man. You use 6 ringgit to make 100 ringgit, right? Then you gain. So a lot of people like the safest way is I got 1 million now, I put into the bank, I eat the interest 1 year 3%, which just dropped right now, it's like 2.8 only. So by in the end of the year, I got 2.8%. But now if I got maybe 1,000 ringgit, right, I go and book a property. 3 years later, right, even if I sell, I can make 10,000, right? 10,000, which is very little, I don't do that, but this is just for a matter of speech. 10,000, right, against 1,000 that I cough in, right? Wow, 10 times really. So that's something that I also understand, leveraging. And the whole concept of my investment is I want to put time on my side. Even if I don't do anything for the next week, right? Time is working for me because time actually causes inflation. So inflation, that's why a lot of people complain, inflation Malaysia 惨 so you see everything becomes so expensive, 通货膨胀, right? But I got 货. So my 货 actually increased in value, so I very happy one. So like crisis now, property just got higher and higher, and I just sit there, very good.
I mean, it's good for investor. It's really good for investor. That's why we always encourage people to start investing. Of course, in their ability lah. Don't right. Like go and pinjam along or something like that. That is very stupid. Okay, but within our ability to buy investment. But you see, a lot of people they They hear only, like a lot of property talk. I think you have attended a few before also. A lot of people attended, but those people who really take action is like 10% sometimes even
Yep.
not even 10%. But how do you see this thing? If it's for you to say one thing to these people, what would you say to them?
I would say do your thing, man. You don't want to invest, don't right? You don't want to. Nobody needs to beg you to be successful. And why do I need to beg you to be successful? Why do I need to beg you to be rich? Right? That same effort, right? I put in my one. You don't buy better, more opportunity for me, right?
More
So
people renting it, so it's fine.
yeah. You cannot afford. I rent my place. Okay, so a theory that I have, right? All these people that say market is bad, right? Market is bad, right? From the first year I joined property, I invested in my first one, right? Every year people already say it's bad one. Never one year is good one.
Exactly. I think you have pointed up the point.
Yeah, every year is bad one. Then like now even bad. So I said bad already. Okay, even worse. Then you come to think of it, then who is making all the money? Right? So it's something like I foresee, right, Malaysia KL to be somewhere in the capital city syndrome, I call it. In New York, right, 有钱人 is perceived as a place who can rent bangsa, not own bangsa.
Oh,
Next time the conversation, right, it will be, wow, you stay in bangsa, wow, you can rent, the rental very expensive one, whoa. Yeah, no? So it's no longer, so owning a property, right, no longer is a conversation already. Or people compare wealth in terms of where you rent. So now I can see that it's the future already. So because land is finite one, there's only so much land you can build in KL. But then
exactly.
but back to the investment journey, right? If let's say I'm 22 today, back in the same situation, that time I started looking when I was 22. That time the only way to be rich and to be wealthy, right, that I know, right, because I also read the Rich Dad Poor Dad book, then you understand how to maximize and what's an asset, what's a liability, all those textbook things. Okay. When you put into action, right, then okay, you need to work a lot harder for passive income, and it comes like 7 years later, it's not
Yep.
immediate one.
Not so fast one.
So correct. And for my lucky I got return. Then if I'm 22 again today, the same amount of effort and the same amount of capital as per se. If I were to invest in myself, I would invest in creating a lot. So maybe I take time off from work, then I sustain my own living for 1 year. Let's say I give myself 1 year, every day and night, besides sleeping and eating and going to the toilet, then I will produce content only. I will just try to find my niche and to provide value, to provide a reason why people must follow me. Then in that 1 year, maybe things will change. Then that's the choice that the audience today have, the 22, 23-year-old, right? Now I think you all have too many choice punya syndrome. This one also can, that one also can, this one also can, but everything I want fast. Something to take note is nothing great comes fast one. So let's say if you are one hit wonder, I think that's a curse. I think one hit wonder is a curse. Suddenly you explode, right? Let's say one of my videos got so viral, then I will be in the clouds already. I think I think I'm like very great and I'm super famous, then very entitled. That will just damage my entire future career. So like now I small kitty-mail like that, slowly grow. Then okay. So when people notice me, if you guys go to my channel, right, then you suddenly, this guy macam yao liu ge wo. When you click in, right, there's like 500 videos now, I think.
Wow.
So if you go inside, wow, then straight away you will believe who am I already. So if I have that one hit wonder already, right, go in, some got video. So it's like those singer like, wow, this 首歌好勁啊，好紅啊，they click in, right, 2 songs only.
I
There's
know
no
you are also a
impact.
singer, ma. My team recently found out you were performing in some of the music platform and singing a lot of songs, and I went and checked it out. You actually started off 2 years ago already, bro. I didn't know you have that talent, man.
Nonsense lah, that one. No lah. So because I'm I'm trained musically also, so I play in a Chinese orchestra as well. So I play the erhu in a Chinese
Oh.
orchestra. Then because of last time also poor like when I study back my A levels in Tar College, right? No money, what to do? I go 民歌餐厅. That time 民歌餐厅 still a thing lah, where people go there and sing. So I go and pinjam my roommate guitar, learn 4 chords. Then I sing 8 songs only. Then like, macam can I think that's also the lesson, right? Once you try, only you have the right to say you don't like. A lot of people decide and make decisions, right, before even dipping themselves into the industry. So that's something
before
that
even trying.
Yep. So I think like a lot of people say MLM cannot make money, like MLM cheat people one. You try before me? No
I
ma.
was
So
in
a lot of
MLM
people
before. I made money.
yeah lor, so the same lor. Then like a lot of people say property cannot run, sure burn one ma, because a lot of people hearsay. They hearsay and this is also
never experienced themselves.
correct. And even later, you listen, right? Who you are listening to? Are you going to listen to a flabby guy talking about how to get abs? Or you want to listen to a medical doctor that talks about cars? Now my spoiler got problem. I don't know why this one loose, right? Go and look for a medical doctor for what? I know the first doctor, the first in his field, right? He's good. But we talk about cars, eh? So a lot of people now, they don't do background check where last time, right, we will check this person legit or not. But now, right, whatever on Facebook people believe.
Doesn't mean you hear it's bad, meaning it's bad one. Go and do your homework and also listen to people who have done that before or you have been there before and ask these people to give you advice. Yes, we are not trying to, I think if you agree with me, bro, we are not trying to ask you to not listen to your parents or maybe auntie, uncle, but analyze. Try to go and analyze whether the things that say is correct or not by doing your own research, by asking a lot more people who have more experience in that, then only you decide whether it's good or not. Like buying property. Myself over here, Sean over here, we have bought our property at a very young age. Okay, we have not got burned yet, but instead we make money. So you tell me.
I got.
I mean, yeah, obviously. Okay, but the point is, if you don't start, sometimes you get burned is a lesson learned. As long as it's not as bad, I think it is a very good bounce back after you have learned from your mistake.
A perfect analogy for this journey, right? That's why I now very into fitness also. So I think fitness becomes very cruel, and that's how I like sports a lot. I really like NBA and sports in general. Sports. The reason is like now you want to teach me about pull-ups. I can read about pull-ups. I can see how people, I see a lot of videos when they talk about pull-up, right? I know how to do pull-ups with you, but you really get to the bar, right? Your general muscle cannot sustain and things like that. And it's very, and instantly, the body will tell you cannot. So you cannot bullshit. You cannot like bluff people. Hey, I can do pull-up, right? You cannot means cannot. And then you straight away, if you want to go for advice, then this is where you see. You want to go to a person who tells you, hey, you need to train for 6 months first before you can do your first pull-up one. But you don't listen. Then you go and ask people, hey, you can, as long as you believe you can, then you can. Where can, or go to the bar, cannot means cannot lah. I believe I can raise, cannot lah, right? I can bench press 100 kg, cannot means cannot lah. I think I believe then can, me. That is the reality of the analogy that a lot of youngsters should know. If you want that abs, or if you want that healthy body, or if you want to perform, like now I'm obsessed with CrossFit lah. So if you want to do like a keeping or butterfly pull-ups and things like that, right? It takes 3 to 5 years of training, only that basic strength, right? And yeah, so that's you cannot learn about pull-ups by reading one. You need to really do it. So that's the same for whatever that you guys want to pursue lah. Is it by all means, is it YouTuber or is it career and things like that lah? The only advantage that you guys have, right, as youngsters now, right, it's the opportunities. You got nothing to lose, and you are already in this stage, right? Like now you got JL, you got the college and things like that to actually enlighten you of what to expect. Last time I'm Mang Zong one,
Exactly.
Go in 3 months. Hey, 唔掂咗，會撇咗。So really buta one. So, but don't be afraid of the mistake also. But just don't be like just now what JL said is sometimes making a mistake, but we need to look at the degree of mistake. Like I cannot go and try to do a 100 kg where I never done before, right? I might die one. But don't die lah. Go gradually lor. So always be very open in opportunities. And even like what Gary Vee already said, like now you are 22, right? Or 21. 10 years down the road, right? You fail everything, right? At 31, you can still do a lot of things, man.
Yeah.
Like now I can easily dabao Sean 10 years back, man. It's like last time 10 years ago I thought I really because buy property really invest make money really here, right? Now I can just slap the 22-year-old son. Taufu lah like.
Sure. I never asked you this before. After you have graduated from your degree, before you pursue your master, I never heard of you saying what is the first job that you got into?
Oh, my first job is very blur. I started working when I was like 16 illegally. So I worked in a chocolate factory before. I worked as a basketball coach before. I worked as a music teacher before, tuition teacher, maths teacher, then sell shoes. I was top sales because I like sports. I was very good with sports. So, you want to look for futsal shoe? Okay, you go for this one. I tell you, bro, this one, I can sell. After I get into architecture, before that, I took a semester in mechanical engineering. So, but I suck in it. So, then I realized I was not meant for it because at that time, right, it felt very dreadful for me to go for the class. Then I realized, okay lah, you know what, screw it. Then I go and take, because I'm good in arts and science. Then the only course available that time, right, no YouTube one at that time, we got lah, but we were not exposed back then. Architecture, where you are good in both sides. That's why I started. So in order to fund myself, because my parents only can pay for the fees, they be very open with me. Sean, we got only enough money, right, to just sustain you through the course. No receipts, right? You don't gao zhan. You better perform, and whatever tools that I need, right? Because sometimes with the right tools, my results can be better. Like the right camera. No matter how I take, right? That time my camera is like 5.6 megapixel only. 5 megapixel only. Then dark time, right? Oh, cannot really habis. Then use the battery type one. Shoot halfway, no battery one. So then a good camera costs more money. A good paper quality costs money. A good computer, like we want to do all the rendering, all the high-tech graphic stuff, right? You need a very good computer. And that time, don't have i3, i5, not yet one, all Core 2 Duo only. Core 2 Duo, then it's then technology at that time was not as accessible. It was very expensive. So I have already been working since semester 1. I was teaching, and for those who also have architecture friends, right, it's very easy for them to say things like, oh, 2 days I didn't sleep really. Very normal one.
It's very long.
For architecture students. Then that time at my worst years, I was sleeping 24 hours a week only.
Wow.
Because of assignments and I need to work. So basically every 2 days I will sleep once. Every 2 days I will sleep once. Then at the end of the semester, so at the final semester and the final submission already, sometimes I sleep on Friday, right? I wake up at Sunday one. Then my mom need to go into the room and check, right, whether I'm breathing or not.
I've experienced the same thing before. My mom knocked at my door and asked, "Hey, if I don't open the door, I thought you were dead."
So that was the level of grit that I was going through already. So I was very comfortable with being very exhausted at all times. Then only when I know that working part-time is not the way to go. I cannot earn as fast enough so I can go to my master's. Then I go and sell properties. So that time no license yet. So the first property I sold was a factory.
Wow.
Then the paycheck, right, was 16,800. Oh, then I see like, huh? 唔使做噶嘛 16,000 already. One, I just, or you want or not, you buy,
Talk
you buy.
only,
Yeah, talk only ma. So that's when I got really excited lah. Then after closing a few deals, then I realized that I don't want to be doing the same thing when I'm 21 until 31 or 81. Do same thing only, talk only. So I'm those that I want more knowledge based one. I like complicated stuff one. Then I want to make it very simple. Then I feel very proud one. Don't know why lah, but
You like to be busybody lah, basically.
so after that, then I realized that this one is not my thing lah. So I go into development because I like how big cities are formed. All big cities start from scratch one. How all empires, right, all starts from scratch. And so I'm very obsessed with, okay, now underground, you got water lah, you got sewage lah, you got fiber lah, you got electricity lah, you got all this lah. Then only you start building on top and things like that. So I have that fetish towards all this kind of architecture and things like that. That's why I like architecture.
Great. Okay, I would like to just ask one last thing from Sean so that the student can actually take home before we end the live, is that if I would want you to give one piece of advice to younger people over here, because most of them are like, 18 to 20, maximum is 22 years old, if I'm not mistaken. One piece of advice from your expertise, what would you want to tell them?
Do not be afraid of opportunities that you don't understand.
Oh, that's
okay, so
interesting.
they are
Something else?
so there's 3 levels of knowledge. One is the things that you know. So I know I can play basketball, right? Then there's another one is things that I know I don't know. I know I'm very bad in football. Seriously, I cannot play. I always become keeper only. Number three is things that you don't know. Like before I got into this crossfitting or before I get into YouTubing, right? I didn't know such a thing exists. So just because you don't know, that forms a defense mechanism by default. I don't know. I don't know, right? Now information is at grabs. Everything is via the phone and it's free and things like that, right? Now information in the future will always be free. It's only whether you want to take action or not. And that puts young people in a position where you no longer have that luxury to say that I don't know. Anytime right in the future, have you know like what happened last week? I don't know. You can only say I don't know yet, right? So that is one of the things where at the young age, right, 18 to 22, be very open. Of course, finish your studies with flying colors because that's the obligation of whatever you need to do lah. But then at the same time, right, study like how long only? I think maximum you guys study 3-4 hours only max lah, right? All play game lah, social media lah. Take the free time to do something else. I realized that when I can be in this position, when I was studying, I go and sing lah. When I was studying, I go and try out this business plan lah. When I was studying, I go and try out chocolate factory lah, go and sell shoes lah. So there's a lot of things that you can do in your free time one. And if you go into the theory of the 100 hours, right, or 1,000 hours, right, that's to be expert lah. But to know something, you don't have to spend that much time on. Just allocate that 1 hour a day, right? You won't feel a lot of effort, but then after a year, right, all the result will come in accumulation. Right? A lot of people like to do is this. I want to be fit, right? Again, with fitness theories. I want to do 1,000 push-up a day. Of course, cannot, hello, right? But then if you were to do 10 push-ups a day, then you do it for 100 days. The results you get, right, will be better than you should we do 1,000. So you should always, a lot of people try to dip themselves too deep into something. They put in all their savings, they put in everything, sai lang, right? Then sure something wrong. So it's either you make it big or you should always slump lah. So as when youngsters, right, put your leg in the pool and test the temperature first, test water first, right? So test. They got 唔錯喎. Then only you decide and see lor. And also be very open because now the top 10 careers didn't exist 10 years ago. So as many uncles tell you, right, like last time when I was starting the channel, Sean, YouTube 冇人睇㗎啦, right? So then you do halfway already. Sean, YouTube, right? Nobody will look for property one don't do lah. Then no matter how, right? Until today, people still tell me no matter what you do, right? Cannot one lah. Because practice makes perfect, ma. Everybody know that, ma. You practice complaining all the time, you will be an expert in complaining. I give you 1 million today, right? Ayo, why not 2 million? You have the hottest girl as your girlfriend, right? Ayo, why not other KOLs? That's a mindset thing.
I think it's very related to a lot of us over here, even though for myself. And it's very real. Guys, remember one thing like what Sean just said over here is, if you don't keep yourself open, you are gonna miss a lot of opportunity. A lot. You will not know what you will be ended into one, Like me, with my background, I never thought I'm gonna be in education. Like I think Sean will also tell you that I never expect I will be a YouTuber. I think everyone will tell you the same thing. Just need to make sure you are open for all the opportunity, and of course, don't be afraid of the opportunity that is coming to you. Just grab it, go do whatever you can with the opportunity that is given to you. Okay, right. With that, okay, I hope today you guys have learned something from my friend over here, Sean or Yihan.
So I think that's all for the video. I certainly hope that young people do take something out of it, right? Because it really is a good times back in the days where I can really enjoy. Very old already. So I think that's all. If you really like this episode, like it, share it, and even subscribe for more information like this. Until next time, this is Sean Tan. Ciao.